Big news announcement from Bungie today regarding the next season for Destiny. Season of Opulence is slated for June 4th, but an even bigger piece of news is the raid that's coming with this new season. It is also slated for June 4th at 4 p.m. US West time. That means you will have 6 hours to level up before the raid launches. I believe this is the first time since Crota back in December of 2014 that a raid has launched the same day as an expansion, or in this case, a new season. So, why? Why is this happening? Well, if you recall with Scourge of the Past, the world's first race was a bit spoiled because of people being such a high power level via saving bounties and keys and everything in between. This eliminated a part of the first day raid experience, which is being underleveled and having to beat both the mechanics and the sandbox difficulty of the raid. Bungie is looking to cut down on some of that happening this time around, while also still giving people some time to level up a little bit by doing the following. Number 1. Last Wish and Scourge of the Past will be unavailable to play until after the raid has been beaten in order to stop people from using stockpiled keys. Number 2, Prime Attunement. I just realized I never said the name of the raid. Number 2, Prime Attunement will be reset to 2 charges per day per character on day 1. You'll be able to build Prime Attunements over time after reset. And number 3, a reminder that powerful bounties that you got before Season of Opulence will have their rewards capped at 700, similar to how bounties before Season of the Drifter were capped at 650. You should purge all of your old bounties anyway so that they don't interfere with the new season, because there were issues in Season of the Drifter with trying to complete meta bounties involving multiple daily bounty completions. The recommended power for the first encounter of the new raid is 715, so I'm going to take a guess and say that the raid will probably scale up to around 730 or 740. Bungie probably assumes players can get to around 705 to 710 or so before the raid with some decent RNG. Oh yeah, the name of the raid is Crown of Sorrow. I just realized I never actually said it. Crown of Sorrow. Thoughts on this? Well, I like it, and I don't like it. So stuff that I like is that Bungie is trying to preserve the sandbox challenge of the new raid. It was an issue in Scourge of the Past, it was an issue in Wrath of the Machine, so I'm glad to see they're actually acknowledging this part of the world first race. Being able to stack rewards from past seasons was very lame, and I'm glad they're trying to slow that down as much as possible. I like that more people are going to be able to compete this time around. Not everyone can take a week off of work or whatever they gotta do for a living to grind for 3 days straight and then raid on the 4th day. But taking off 1 day? That's a little more likely for the average person. What I don't like is that some of this is still subject to some level of abuse, RNG, and even download speeds. If you remember the Crota days, you'll know that trying to kill Crota with a full team of level 30s was pretty darn difficult, and that even my team resorted to power leveling someone to be the sword bearer. A lot of teams did. Hopefully, you can take the hint with that. Things are pretty different now, and I think swapping full teams in and out would be a huge cop-out, and I kind of hope Bungie wouldn't allow this massive team swapping to count for a world's first, but who knows. I'd be fine with 1 or 2 people in case of disconnects or things happening, stuff like that. The chance that a team just keeps grinding for items and then comes into the raid late is also a pretty high possibility. Simply capping the level that players could grind to would alleviate this issue, but I just don't know how easy it would be for Bungie to set a cap on those items for what could end up being a few hours, and then increasing it to 750 or whatever the actual cap is after the raid's been beaten. RNG is still a factor with powerful rewards, and while I'm glad that the mega raid grind is only 6 hours instead of 3 days, this means that getting duplicates hurts way more. 3 days is a lot of time for drop forgiveness in terms of getting bad drops, but with only 6 hours to grind, getting multiple of the same slot item hurts way worse than it would with 3 days to grind. Finally, there's just internet download speed. Those with bad internet and or console players typically have to take a little extra time to make sure that they're all patched. Missing 1 hour out of 72, that's not a big deal. Missing 1 hour out of 6, however, that definitely is. Anyway, those are all my thoughts on that whole situation. I'm definitely very excited for the raid to launch and to have the sandbox challenge hopefully actually be a challenge again, but I'd still definitely have some worries here and there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.